A Noisy Day by Mr. Noisy. Hello, I'm Mr. Noisy. Sorry, I'll try to whisper, but it is very difficult being quiet when you are me. You see, I just can't help being noisy. Everything I do noisily. For instance, I went to the cinema the other day, and I bought a bag of crisps to eat during the movie. Well, each bite I took sounded like 100 milk bottles being smashed to smithereens. Nobody could hear the film. Believe it or not, I was trying to eat them quietly, but I couldn't, and I had to leave the cinema. Then there was the time I went to a library to read a book. Now, you would have thought that reading the book is one of the quietest things you could do. It probably is that unless you are like me. Clump, clump, clump went my shoes as I tiptoed around the library looking for a book. Bang went the door as I put it down on the table. Scrape went the chair when I pulled it in. Rustle, rustle, rustle went the pages as I turned them. It was no good. I couldn't read a book quietly, so I had to leave the library as well. As you can see, it is not easy being me. Most of the time, people think I'm a terrible nuisance. But there was one whole day when everyone was very glad. I am as noisy as I am. It was the day I went to the seaside. I caught the bus at the bottom of the hill below my house. "One ticket for the railroad station, please," I said, in what I thought was a quiet voice. But the bus driver nearly fell out of his bus. One day at the station, we got stuck in a terrible traffic jam. While we were waiting, a fire engine came up behind us. They were trying to get a fire, but couldn't get through because their siren was completely broken. I hopped under the fire engine. "Out of the way, fire engine coming through," I yelled in my loudest voice, which is very, very loud. Instantly, all the cars in Wobbletown High Street moved out of the way. "Oh, thank you very much," said the fire chief, and they rushed us to put out the fire. The station was in chaos when I reached it. There were people running on in every direction, shouting and bumping into each other. The station's loudspeakers did not work, and nobody knows which train was leaving on which platform. I went to the station master, who was looking very worried. "I may be able to help," I said. I stood up an unturned box. "The Seaside Express will be leaving from platform 1, and the Tittleton train will leave from platform 2. And the Nonsense Line band is waiting at platform 3. I shouted at the top of my voice. All the passengers happily made their way to the rails. "Thank you very much," he said. On the way to Seatown, the train suddenly stopped in the middle of the countryside. I climbed down from my carriage and went to ask the train driver why we had stopped. "The engine has lost its whistle, and we couldn't go any further without a whistle," she explained. I smiled. "I may be able to help," I said, and I climbed out into the engine cab. "All aboard," I shouted, and I whistled my very loudest whistle, which was much louder than any train whistle. The train driver smiled. "Oh, thank you very much," she said, and off we set again for the seaside. We soon arrived, only to find Seatown shrouded in fog. It was so thick that if I had a nose, I would hardly be able to see it on my face. And I certainly couldn't see the nose on anyone else's face. I went to the Sea Hotel. There was nobody at the front desk. I rang the bell. Ding. The manager rushed out of his office looking very shaken. "I'd like a room for a week, please," I said in my very quietest whisper. "Sorry, I can't hear you," said the manager. The sound of the bell is still ringing in my ears. "I'd like a room, please," I said a little louder. The manager nearly fell over backwards. He heard me that time. After tea, I went down the beach. It was still very foggy. As I walked along, a man who was running out on the beach bumped into me. "Oh, I'm sorry," said the man. "I'm in a terrible rush. I'm the lighthouse keeper at the foghorn, and my lighthouse is broken." "Oh, I don't know what to do." "I do," I said, and smiled. "I'm sure you can guess what I did next." "That's right. I climbed to the top of the lighthouse and shouted, 'Beware of the rocks,'" I shouted all night long. The rest of my stay at the seaside is much quieter. You'll never guess why, but I'll tell you. All my shouting had made me lose my voice.